One day, there was a little boy named Prince Robin. He lived in a big castle. But one day, his friend the Golden Rabbit told him that there was a monster bullying all of the other animals in the enchanted forest. Then he went to enchanted forest and he went to the waterfall. Then he saw a gigantic black creature. It was called QM. They battled and battled forever. Then he finally defeated QM, Black QM. Then he disappeared, but it dropped a letter. It dropped a message. The message said, "I will be back to defeat you." The end.
That's my son, Elon. He's 6 years old and he loves telling stories. Sometimes it seems like he never stops telling stories. He likes to combine all of his favorite characters to create outlandish situations and crazy imaginary shenanigans. And I wondered, when do we stop being that creative? At what point do we start getting limited by reality? And when does gravity start to plant our feet firmly on the ground? And so that's what we're going to explore today. I guess conversations are a kind of creative process as well, when you don't try to control where it goes and just see where you land. Based on the title, you have an idea of where we found ourselves, but I do hope you still stay for the quick trip. I'm your host, Chris Flojo, and this is You're Just Okay, and That's Okay. There's this great quote by Maria Popova, writer and creator of the blog Brain Pickings, describing creativity. She says that creativity is a combinatorial force. It's our ability to tap into our inner pool of resources: knowledge, insight, information, inspiration, and all the fragments populating our minds that we've accumulated over the years just by being present and alive and awake to the world, and to combine them in extraordinary new ways. Her thoughts resonate loudly in our episode today as I sit down and talk with one of the most creative people I know. Today, you're going to meet Christina Dy, or CD, an award-winning visual artist, dancer, cello enthusiast, and a cancer survivor. To say that it seems like she's lived many lives is an understatement. I wanted to know her thoughts on what it means to be creative, what it takes to be an artist, and if everyone had a propensity for creativity.
Hi, I'm CD. I'm 44. I'm an artist and a dancer and lots of other things. And so now we are in my room where you can see my cello. I'm trying to learn. Yeah, I'm trying to learn right now. Parang every decade I try to learn something new just to keep my brain alive and active.
How long have you been taking cello lessons? Are you taking lessons or are you like learning on YouTube?
Okay, I tried for a year learning on YouTube. What a waste of time.
How
So,
come?
cause number one, you have to search so much, and then people give tutorials, but it's not comprehensive. It's so potol, and then it's like, basta, I just wasted a year. So what I learned in 4 classes with my teacher is worth more than 1 year worth of learning on YouTube.
You think that's a cello thing that you need a teacher? Like, are there certain disciplines that really need a teacher?
This one kasi, it's so technical. Like, my first lesson, I did not even hold the cello.
What?
I was just taught, well, history, yeah, parts of the cello, and then how to hold the bow. There's a very specific way of how to hold the bow. So that was 2 hours worth of how to hold the bow. Yeah, and then my second lesson, I held the cello, but I did not even play a single string. It was just how to hold the cello. Because it has to be it's dependent on my size, its size. Yeah. So my third lesson, I played one string, the D string. I just played the D string, and then my fourth lesson, I played two strings. But in between naman lessons, like I have lessons once a week, my teacher would, of course, encourage me to explore. Like I'll play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or I'll play the scales, or like my game with myself was I'm gonna tune the cello without the tuner, and then I'm gonna check with the tuner if tama yung pagka-tune ko. So mga ganon.
Did your teacher tell you if you still had that, if you were still gonna get really good at this, or is there like an age limit that comes with learning an instrument like this complex?
No age limit, and he didn't say if I was gonna get good at this, which is great. I love him, sobra. My first class also had anatomy of the fingers, the arm. So I knew he was the right teacher for me because he explained bakit ganito yung hold, bakit ganyan, para it doesn't cramp, para you get to move. It's all very technical. I really love the lessons.
That's so interesting.
I know, right? I think if you have the right teacher, then you can just achieve whatever you want. Yeah, the teacher is super important. I mean, if you learn wrong things, right, then you develop bad habits, then it's going to be so much more work to undo those bad habits.
Right.
So, so I really appreciated the time that he took to show me how it is to hold the bow so that I don't hold it wrong.
Right.
Kasi if you hold it wrong, wala na. Yun na yung foundation mo eh, right? So, it's gonna be wrong forever. Let's
And
say
it's
we teach hold, diba?
and it's so much harder to unlearn things, no? Than learning new things.
It's true. It's true. Kasi naka-muscle memory na yun eh. And then, in your head, you're like, I can play songs na sa cello. Why do I need to change the way
True.
I do it, right? So, but then, if you don't unlearn the bad habits, then your capacity to learn the more advanced pieces or to play better, diba? It's hindered na.
Well, you're a teacher. You were a drawing teacher for quite a
Yes,
while. Do you have
7 years.
7 years? You have that
In
same
Ateneo.
kind of philosophy in your teaching. What's your do you have a style or like a philosophy that you apply to all your classes?
So, yes, it's always like my cello teacher is you have to start it right, the right way. Like especially for pole. For drawing, I just teach like the basic skill, how to translate what you see onto the paper. Because if you know how to do that, then you can just draw anything you want, diba?
Mm.
So I don't teach fancy stuff. I just teach how to look at things and how to translate what you see onto the paper. That's it. Yeah, I really believe in good foundation. Slow, super slow progress, but once you get the foundations down, madali na yan eh, di ba? Mabilis na yan.
In the question between skill and talent, which one, or like a hard work and talent, which one do you like ascribe to the more?
I have some talent, but like the things that I am doing now, most of it is hard work. Like I took my first drawing workshop, I was 22.
Mm.
So, and then I went to UP Fine Arts, I was 24. And imagine mo, my classmates were 16. And they
Oh,
came from Makiling. Alam mo yan, ang galing-galing nila mag-paint, and galing-galing nila mag-draw. And I mean, I could draw, but not like that. So I had to practice. I draw every day until now.
how do you start? How does a person start becoming an artist? And like, at what point can you call yourself an artist?
Oh my God, I actually don't call myself that. Like, I usually just say that when people ask me to, in a very succinct manner, introduce myself. But I should just say I make drawings. Kasi parang, ano, di ba? Parang ang pretentious. I'm an artist. But
Is
anyway,
it?
no, I don't, wala lang. Kasi parang, feeling ko kasi I still have so much work to do. It's like feeling ko I'm super still starting pa lang in art.
Mm.
Like, yeah, so parang I haven't earned the right yet to call myself an artist, right?
But
But I can say I make drawings kasi I actually do make drawings, right? But artist, parang, I don't know.
okay, so you've been an
Yes.
artist for what, 20 years? Okay, fine. You've been
Years.
making drawings for 20 years.
Yes.
You've won an award. You've won several
Yes.
awards.
Just one, actually.
Just one ba? In my heart, marami kang awards.
I was shortlisted for some, pero I won the CCP 13 Artists Award.
And you've also exhibited internationally in Australia, in Korea, and Paris also, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Okay, but
Oo.
you still don't consider yourself like worthy of the title artist?
Parang, I don't know, parang artist sounds so, for me, parang it's so like final. Parang I want something that
Ah.
sounds more like a verb rather than a noun. Clear ba yun? Yung parang I want, yeah, to sound like I'm a work in progress. Parang ganon.
But that's also because being an artist, making drawings, is just not the only thing you do.
Yes, it's not. So I dance. I teach dance. I used to do films. I used to design films, but I said I won't anymore because it takes up too much time. Na
And
ano ako eh, natamaan ako recently with this thing I saw, this quote I saw na, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
oh, wait,
I can't.
what part about that exactly hit you hard? Like, why?
Well, because although eto, kasi parang there's so many things I can do, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I can do well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I used to do so much music videos. You know this, diba? Every
Right.
day, the same music video every week, every month, or like movies, short films, ganyan. But then I'm like, this is not really what I want to do with my life. So we only have 24 hours in a day, right? So we have to make sure that the 24 hours are devoted to things that we actually want to do. Although the past 20 years, feeling ko, it's been great because I've been trying out new things. And then each time I try a new thing, it informs the current activity that I'm doing. So parang everything kind of just melts together and
Mm-hmm.
produces one bigger thing. So parang it's like 1 plus 1 equals 3. Parang ganon.
Mm.
So it's great that I've been studying all these things and doing all these things. It really helped me a lot. But then at some point you have to kind of chisel out the stuff that are not helping you grow anymore in the direction that you want to go.
So when you got
Yes.
older and did you just become more sure about what you like?
I think it was actually because of cancer.
Okay.
Kasi, yeah, after I got cancer, I was really tired all the time. So wala akong choice doon. It's like even if I wanted to do so many things in a day, after radiation, wala. I'm dead. I'm just lying down on my bed the rest of the day. There's nothing else. So that got me to thinking talaga. So you can't keep on just running around doing things anymore. Kasi ganun tayo nung bata, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, shoot ngayon. Mamaya, oh, wala pang tulog. Shoot again. Okay, tomorrow, sayo tayo, full class. Okay. But now, wala na. I really can't. As in, I physically cannot anymore. My
Right.
brain thinks it can. My body says otherwise. So now what I've been trying to do, so Mondays now are really rest days. As in, I do not schedule anything. Well, except this for you, because I love you.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. So Mondays, I really don't schedule anything. And then I just sit and I write in my journal and I read. And then I think about how to bring all the things that I know how to do together into something that only I can do. Parang ganon.
When you make things, do you already have a final output in mind? Like when you make a drawing or when you say I have to make a dance, a choreography, or whatever it is you seem to be doing, do you already have the final output in mind and then you work towards that? How do you work?
I have a general idea. Like I'm making a drawing now. I said I wanted an ocean because I miss seeing the ocean.
Yeah.
And then I said I wanted bigger waves, but I have no idea really how, the exact picture in my head, how it's
Right.
gonna come out. So parang it depends talaga on my mood for that day, or if my arthritis is kicking in. Maiiba yung stroke. So, grabe, yeah. Oo, the body is a very real thing.
Right.
Not, I think my life has always been, um, ooh, that looks like fun. Let's go there. Parang my whole life has been like that. I never really actually planned any of this to happen. I
Are
just,
you like that in all of your creative endeavors? Ooh, let's see what's gonna
yeah,
happen.
yes, like, kunyari, cello. I said before, oh, parang fun yan. And then my friend said, do you want my cello? I'm like, sure. I
Wow.
mean, right? So, or like with making movies, I wasn't interested in making movies. But in college, my college friend, Far, she said, I want to study making movies. So she dragged me to a filmmaking workshop in Mobile Fund Film Institute. And I was like, what is this? But sure, sounds like fun. And that's where I met sila Joel, sila RA, everyone in the film business that I eventually worked with. Ganun. Or like Paul, sila Mitch Dulce said, hey, we'll take you to Paul. Sure. Okay. Then look where we are now.
Do you think that's important in wanting to be creative? Do you think it's important that you kind of just go, let's see where this goes, or is it super necessary to already know this is the concept, this is what I'm trying to say? Are-
Um,
Creativity in general, not necessarily like art, not necessarily drawing or painting, but like if you're a person who wants to be creative and constantly churning out new ideas, is that something that's very important to get there?
yes, I believe in being open and being open to be surprised. Like
Mm.
a lot, you don't know it. Like actually, the most fun things that has happened in my life, surprise,
Right.
right? So I think it's important that you have the capacity to be surprised, that you're open to it. You know how some people they just don't want to be bothered by
Right.
things that are not planned, right? But you have to have that space in your schedule, in your brain, to na pag may bago na, ooh, this wasn't in my plan, but it sounds fun, then take it, right? But I
Right.
also believe but I also believe in structure kasi. Right? Like you can't just randomly go around trying new things and then what? That's not creativity. You are bored and trying to escape your boredom. So I think what is needed is for you to get what you are planning, what you're thinking of doing, add it to that surprise thing. I think the connection and the putting together is the key ingredient, right? That will differentiate a random bored person from someone who's actually creating new things.
It's so easy to start and it's so hard to follow through.
Yeah, it's so easy to start things. Like everything's online now, right? Whatever you want to learn, it's online. But then what are
Right.
you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with that new information? Is it gonna stay as as just that, or are you gonna combine it to create something, right? I think it's important that you try out different fields and then you put everything together. I think that's what makes the funnest things in the world talaga.
In general, what kind of people, characteristics, and traits do you think would make a creative, or like a creative person has?
Oh, curious people, um, but disciplined people as well. I really don't like that whole yung image ng artist na nagwawala. Alam mo yun?
Brooding.
I hate that. That's not true. Art is work. Creativity is work, for me.
Right.
As in, I really believe you have to be hardworking. It's not about waiting for inspiration or it's none of that shit. Well, yeah, number one, you have to be curious. Without that, wala eh. You're not gonna look for new things, right? And then you have to be disciplined also. Or else you're just gonna waste all your days daydreaming or just looking through YouTube or something.
Right.
So creativity is work. We have a schedule. Like I got my work ethic from my art barkada. They were the first art people that I ever met and became friends with.
Right.
20 years ago. They have a schedule, 9 to 5. They will paint 9 to 5. And
Like it doesn't matter what, they'll just paint whatever.
Yep. No, so I adopted that, and it has helped me a lot. Like I really work. I wake up, I work. I find that the more you create, then the more ideas you get. So that's really important. Some people, they get stuck in just thinking, oh, maybe what if I do this? And then they keep waiting and waiting. They don't start because it's not perfect, because they don't know everything yet. Well, you'll never know everything. Or like the situation's not perfect. Like they can't afford a certain material or something. And then they just don't do it. Then wala na nangyari, right? But most of the time, we don't know how things are going to end. But we just have to start. And that's it. I think that's the very important thing about creativity.
Just show up.
Yeah, you show up every single day. Well, except Monday for me.
Well, it's also important to know even God rested on the seventh day, okay? Do you think everyone can be like, if they want to be creative, they so hard, like they want to be a writer, as hard as you are there some things that you just like, is there a point where you just have to give up and be like, this just really isn't it's not yours?
Yeah, if you want, I think everyone can be competent,
Right.
at anything if they just find the right teacher and they work hard. Anyone can be competent, but not everyone can be great. Not everyone can be excellent. Like I can dance. I think I'm a bit above competent, but I'm not yet sa excellent. I'm still studying to get there. And I don't think I'll be an excellent cellist at all. I think at the most I can be competent, but I don't think I would. I mean, I want to learn, but not really force myself to be competent or something. I just want some fun in my life.
Oh, I guess you also have to be honest about limitations naman, diba? It's not possible din naman to do everything that at a level that is elite. There has to,
Yeah. You only have 24 hours. Hindi kaya. Maybe if you had unlimited hours, then maybe. When I was recovering from cancer, I couldn't pull. And then I was too sad to draw.
right.
I didn't want to. So, and I was living with my sister, and she had a really nice kitchen
Uh-huh.
with a nice table, a nice countertop, and I was like, I'll just stay here. I made fondant flowers, and eventually I started painting cakes. And then eventually it became a business.
I love it.
Everything just becomes a business. I took up the cello just so I'll have a hobby.
Something that has nothing to do with money and earning and making it work, no?
Right, and I don't have to be good at it. Like,
Right.
no pressure. Just start. Whatever it is, just start. That's it. A lot of people talaga, they have so many good ideas. But, di ba?
Yes.
They don't do it. So, you just have to start. Like you with this podcast. You just started. And then look where you are now.
Oh,
Yun
kahit
lang.
pa ba? No, I love, no, that's true seeds. And I ascribe to that as well. But only also in my adult years, yung just start. It's scary ha. It's hard ha. It's scary. Kasi iniisip mo palagi, paano kung palpak? Paano mo malalaman, di ba?
Me and my friends, we always talk about that. Na parang, just do it. If palpak, no one has to see it.
Right.
You don't have to post everything on social media.
Pwede namang sa'yo na lang.
Tapon mo. Sunugin mo. No one has to know.
Creativity must go hand in hand with a willingness to be vulnerable, to allow yourself to explore without the assurance of success, but only the satisfaction of having tried it all. No one wakes up an expert at anything. And like the popular saying goes, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So if you've ever wanted to know what it feels like to glide across a dance floor, or how to put your feelings into words, or to paint your experiences onto an empty canvas, take it from the person who has made drawings for the past 20 years. Just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to go viral. It just has to be you. And even if you start out just okay, you might create something somewhere down the line that changes someone. And for me at least, that's more than enough. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of You're Just Okay, and That's Okay. My name is Chris Flojo, and I am so glad that you stayed with me all the way until the end. If there's something you want to say, if you want to drop a line, please add me on Instagram. You're Just Okay Podcast. Send me a DM. Go on ahead and slide into that. Or email me at yourjustokaypodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you, know what you want to talk about, or just tell me a story. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.